Alright, I have no idea how interesting this is going to be, but we're going to give it a go and attempt to fly across the entire US in a tiny little Cessna. Will it be exciting? Probably not. Is it going to take forever? Absolutely. But I've wanted to do this, just take a small plane and cross the entire country. So let's show you where we're starting off. And we are right here at this airport. KUIL. I'm terrible at figuring out things that don't look normal to me. So here we are, in Washington. That is where we're starting. And our first little step across the country is going to be heading over in this direction. I think my plan is to get to Fall City. Not going to be able to just go straight there. I mean, I guess we could get to 10,000, but we're not going to have a whole lot of time to get up there. I think the better plan is to go up here and follow the water in and then cross over Seattle. Now, I'm doing this all VFR, so I'm going to have to figure out some landmarks to look for once we get near Seattle. Should be okay. Shouldn't be too crazy. I think downtown is like here-ish somewhere. Maybe I'm a little high up there. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Looks like there's an air show going on here in Tacoma. But I haven't flown up here in a long time. Definitely not in this game. So plan, get to Fall City, and then I think the next trip after this, we're going to have to get up in the air a bit more and maybe get over to, what's this, Ellensburg. Yeah, we'll see. But just going to head this way. Now, we're definitely not going over or through any of this. So we'll have to head down, and I think this is Boise down here. Yeah. So we'll be heading down to Boise and then over. But it will be a nice long trip. And our goal, since we're starting in this corner of the world, is to go all the way down here to Miami. So that is the plan. If I complete it all, who knows? I'm going to get a few episodes recorded before I start releasing these. So if there's something to look at on the way on the next leg, and you tell me in this video, I might have already done that, but we'll see. We'll see how far ahead I get in this. So I'm hoping to release this on Monday, and yeah, let's get to flying. Let's see what Seattle looks like. I think we've got, let's go ahead and take a listen. Nope, they don't even have weather. Let's see. Alright, windsocks over there. We're completely filled up on fuel. Not that we're going to need all of it, but I'm going to try to do this somewhat realistic. Although, as you know, I'm not a pilot. I don't know a whole lot about flying, so you might have to tell me if I did something wrong, and I'll try to clean it up for the next video. So, no autopilot. Just got to trim things out. Now, it is crazy hot over in this part of the world right now. So, I don't think things are going to be flying too great. Come down here. I think we got to cross this runway. if I looked at this correctly. I don't know. That might just be a road out into the woods. Let's go ahead and hop on this runway, and then it should cross with the runway that we want. It's a really damn wide runway for a small little airport. So I'm using real world weather. We're gonna do that this whole time. A little concerned that that is moving. Hold on, I need to do something with my controls. Sometimes my joystick can get a little messed up. So, is this runway not even open? I don't know why we got a big old X. Maybe it's this one that we're on. Well, we're gonna go off on this one. Taking off to the west. Get up to about 60 knots. Should be able to start pulling up here. Up in the air. Go ahead and climb up. I don't want to be in too many clouds. So we are in a bit of a mountainous region. Although you can't really see them right now, but let's go ahead and get turned before we get into these clouds too much. Do that. I always forget to do that. If you know what that is, you'll understand what just happened. We're heading south. I'm stupid. Okay. Get turned up north. Then we got the mountains that I was referring to over there. Looks like we got a bit of deforestation going on around here. Up to 1,200 feet right now. And I think we'll be okay if I head this direction and continue to climb up to 4,000. We should get to the water. So yeah, tail number is an even 5. Obviously not a realistic one, but didn't know what to put, so I just went with that instead of a November whatever. So heading pretty much north. Getting some decent climb here, and we're still going about 95 knots. Take a look and see on the map. We should be heading, we can head a little more to the east. All of this stuff is around 2,000, and then a little farther to our right is going to be 3,000. I'll hop outside in a second. Also get this pointed the direction I want to go. And I will be hopping in and out of the plane. Here you go. Washington. Not a whole lot out in this part. For some reason I thought Seattle was on the coast. And definitely a whole lot of Washington left to the west of it. I've even been to Seattle, and for some reason I thought that it was right on the coast. So what I'm looking for is a lake, which I think I see up over there. It's one of two lakes. I'm not sure which one. Just quickly show you. I'm guessing it's that one there. And that's how we're going to be navigating, is kind of looking for situation or objects like that, landmarks, to guide us in the right direction. Got a little town. I'm gonna assume that is Forks, Washington. Although if that's Forks, then I am really confused how I got over here, although I did go south for a bit, not realizing it. And I actually turned a bit too much. So there should be a highway. There it is. And that highway is going to take us up to Beaver, which is next to that lake. So it was actually the lake on the right that I showed on the map. So we're going to follow this highway, or keep the highway in sight, so I don't get too lost. Because I've already ended up way over to the east, farther than I wanted to. So those peaks off there are 3,500, and then it gets much higher as you go, but right now we can't really see that with the clouds and haze. That looks like it is Highway 101. Just gonna curve up, and then at the lake it is gonna start to turn back to the east, and it's gonna go through a little valley, and I think we might just follow that valley up. You're gonna see it right there. There should be a lake at the end of the valley that we can shoot out of. The lake elevation looks like 579, so we should be there. I'm gonna start getting bounced around a bit as we go over these little hills. Let's hop outside again just to take a look. Some of this is fairly good looking, and some of it might be a bit rough. So it looks like town of Beaver, tiny little town right there. And we're going to follow this valley up. Even though we've got the, what the hell is that called? Straight right there. I think following this valley up will be a little cooler than getting on the coast right away. We're at 3,500 now, so getting into a safer range. But then we're gonna have a lot of sea level in a bit, so it's not too concerning now that I am headed in the right direction. Long ways to go for this video. Looked like a hour-and-a-half flight, maybe. I'm hoping not that long, but so yep, there's the highway shooting across over there, and we'll just follow that. I think once we get turned a bit to the east. Should have a bit of a tailwind. Getting a little choppy. And that valley gets pretty narrow. Might not be the smartest thing. Might just hop to the other side of it. Highest point on that is 3,748. So we're already just over it. But I think the wind is going to get pretty brutal if I try to go up that, so we'll head to the coast. At least the weather's not terrible. See the higher peaks out there, that's like 8,000 feet. Little river coming down the valley. So we're just going to sneak to the other side of this, even though we could go up that and follow the coast up. Back. Drop the throttle just a tiny bit. And then we'll get this thing trimmed out. Hold this altitude or around it. Biggest thing I don't want to do is fly IFR, because that would be extremely boring. I want to be able to have stuff to look at, talk about. Probably going to get bumped around a bit as we go over this. And then we'll be home free. Get out on the straight. Follow that down. Should have an airport off over there somewhere. Yep. Now we start getting kicked around. Air coming up off of these mountains. That's why I thought better of trying to go up in between two of them, because then we'd really get kicked around. Still climbing a little. Should start to see a few towns up along the coast. And then there's going to be a road that we should see going to and from the coast as it goes along it. Try to spot it. Can't really see anything at the moment. We can go ahead and start turning towards the east now. little bit of clouds over the strait. That's up in Canada. We're not heading there, so. I think the first big town that we're going to come across is Port Angeles. And that is quite a ways down there. So that airport should be back over there, I think. The other airport that I was deciding on which one to start from. Looks like you've got a few roads up, climbing, zigzagging up there, up the mountains, or it's just something weird going on with the textures. Getting kicked around again. Assuming. Thought there was going to be some elevation change under us, but might just be a rough ride the whole way. I'm sure the temperature is not helping things. There's that road. I'm not going to be able to see it much. There's the... I think that's a power line, actually, and not a road, that straight line coming out of the mountains. I think it's just trees cut down to make way for a power line. So we started with the hours on this plane at 3.4. I think that's 3.4, right? Yeah. So we'll track that as we go. See how many hours it actually takes to do all of this. Obviously, it'll be easy to tell with time and video, but some of that will be pre-takeoff and other things like that. So now we are finally heading east. Even though our goal is to head to Miami, had to start out going north a bit. Otherwise, we were gonna have to go a little too far south, further south than I wanted. Canada off to our left. Now, one of the issues they're trying to solve is mountains, the peaks of mountains and stuff not being quite pointy enough. They all seem to kind of get rounded off. Hopefully they'll be able to work on that, get a solution for that, just to kind of help some of the places that I've seen look a little more dramatic and cooler. Holding altitude fairly decent now, 4,500. Take a look out here. Trees going all the way up to the coast. It does look like maybe a bit of a drop off on the coast. And then, yeah, you'll see lines like this as we go across the country. Just different time of day for the aerial photos, so not something that you can easily clean up. Maybe one day they'll just be able to do instant satellite updates. That'll be in 30 years. It's still amazing that we have this. Like, you used to be able to get this on Flight Sim 10, but you had to download a bunch of stuff and then create gigs upon gigs upon gigs of files in order to get it. And then it still wouldn't generate trees or buildings or anything like that. It was just really detailed aerial image, which was good at the time, but a pain. And this is so much easier to use because you just pick a flight and your internet downloads. Alright, so there's the lake I was talking about where I wanted to come out from the valley. But I think we made the right safe choice to just head over here. Just try to show you on the map where we're at now. There's that lake, so I'm guessing we're right about here. We took off here. So we've made some progress, but we've got quite a ways to go. Put that back over here so I can use it. So once we get to Port Angeles, then we're closing in on halfway. And I think Port Angeles is right there. Some of these flights could end up being very long flights just to get over certain bits. You know, there's not going to be a whole lot of options as we come down through Idaho or cross over Wyoming, or I don't know where we're actually going to cross over the Rockies at. And then maybe when we get to Miami, depending on how this series goes, if I get to Miami, maybe we'll just go up the East Coast. Who knows? Maybe get in a bigger plane and continue around the world. Although Miami is the worst place that you could try to start that trip from. Unless you're in a actual airliner, which I don't like to fly. Nope. Kicked over there. Losing a bit of altitude. Gonna go ahead and trim that back up a bit. You can see there's an airport down there at Port Angeles. Got a bit of a cliff going on right here. Got a little creek, river coming down from that lake. Road up to the top of that hill. Pretty sure we're not going to see a racetrack out here. I don't think there's a demand for a racetrack in this part of the world. Once we get closer to Seattle, I have to think about it. I know Wenatchee Valley might be on our pathway. Not sure where Evergreen is. I gotta look that up real quick. Don't know where Monroe is. Feel like it's probably gonna be not in the same area that we're going. Oh, you know what? it is kind of right on the way. Well, that's nice. I think we will go fly over Evergreen Speedway. That will be this video. Try to pick out. It means we'll have to kind of avoid Seattle, but see if I can. Quickly take a look at this and get an idea of which way I want to be heading. So it's really close to Everett. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of on the way. Might actually just, you know what? We might actually just stop there. And then we'll head to Wanichi. The next flight. I think that's about... Yeah. You know what? We'll do that. We're gonna head to Monroe instead of Falls City. We'll do a little circle around Monroe, but that's a much better path anyways. Then we don't have to go down and around Seattle. And we can take the... or follow the highway. It's gonna be a bit close on, I think I can get up to 14 in this, but that might be a struggle in this hot air right now. Another look outside. Looks like there's quite a bit of rocky coastline here that we're not really getting to see. Closing in on halfway, definitely now halfway on this because we've shortened this flight up a little. Yeah, right about halfway. That worked out. Glad I thought about Evergreen. So still going to be about an hour and 15-minute flight, but these mountains are massive over there. At our speed right now, just sitting under 100, about 95. Hopefully we don't get any horrible wind. If we get some really bad headwind, it's gonna be a really slow flight, but looks like we're okay right now. Hard to tell. I need to take a look at trim. Or not trim, but mixture information, so that I know what to set it at for what altitude. Really cool. cool looking area. And a whole lot of water. A nice little coastal home with mountains out behind you and mountains across the water. And if it gets too hot like this, just take a drive up. So we finally have found a bit of civilization. This is all going to be AI generated, I assume. Sorry if you're seeing any of that blinking on screen. I don't know why it is doing it, but it does not like when I switch camera angles. Wasn't an issue when Flight Sim first came out, but then it started to be something that constantly happens if I switch windows or do anything. But I don't think it's actually getting picked up on the video. Alright, so over top of Port Angeles. Now, this looks like city, but there's no city there. So I am not sure. It's just different colored ground, not green, or what's happening there. It looks like a really steep coastline. Now I can start to head a little bit in that direction, I think. We're kind of turning north here. Let's start heading back across land. Looks like highest point is at 2580. Just head in this direction, we should be okay, and be heading nearly in the direction direct to Monroe. Port's down there. Whole bunch of little rivers and creeks coming through town. Not sure where that one goes though. Or is that a road? It's actually a road. I am confused. Apparently they've built roads up all of these little valleys. Seems like a good way to get things flooded. Little golf course there. Easy to pick out. Off to our right, 5,600, 6,000, actually, yeah, 6,025 is the peak height for that. It's definitely above us right now. turn there a little bit while we were outside. Next town we're going to come up in is Sequim. Looks like is the name of the town. That is up here. Now it's just shown as a small town, but I don't know if there's just, it's spread out quite a bit over this little point. I guess there's another small town called Agnew that is right around here. Where are we going? There we go. I was clicked on the camera controls that I have off on a second monitor, and the controls don't work when you're clicked on the second monitor, and I forgot for a second. We're just going to pop over these little peaks that are hanging off onto the side. I'm assuming that is power lines cut out there. I guess it's just farmland up here. I guess it looks so much different because everything else is covered in trees, and now we're getting a bit of farmland. Got a power line going up through here, and we're going to just kind of follow that all the way to the coast and then go straight east. All of a sudden go from a whole lot of wilderness to a whole lot of city. Probably a whole lot of frames having issues. Big ass peak over there in Canada. Wonder what that is. I'm not sure. Looks really cool though. Not sure what mountain that is. Maybe Mount Baker. Looks about right. 10,800. We're going to say that's Mount Baker. Now we're going to miss out on seeing the volcanoes. Those are much farther south. But I might try as we go through the Idaho area, try to find some. There's some like ancient volcanoes and stuff that are not really active anymore and don't really look like volcanoes, but we'll be able to see some lava fields and stuff like that. Alright, let's look for that power line. Still heading there, and then I think we're going to hit that and then go straight east. So, yeah, I'm going to assume that's Baker, and then the one farther off is El Dorado Peak over there. or Mount Logan, all up in Canada. It's really cool looking though. Down there, very tiny. All right, so our left side now, we'll try to figure out where we're actually at. Where are we? I don't think we were actually that far yet. We're still, this is Sequim down there. With a couple of smaller towns. That are all kind of connected to each other. That just goes straight up over there. Got this highway. Try to figure out what that is. It's not really saying. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing, because it should bend down and around. Yep. There's a big mountain. Which one is that? Is that Mount Stewart? Or maybe Glacier Peak. No, Glacier Peak's north. That's Mount Stewart. This whole area, I mean, compared to Nebraska, really, really awesome just to have every type of landscape around you. Once we get popped over this, we're going to be able to start to see Seattle. I don't know if that is... I'm having a hard time picking out what that would actually be, that mountain. The only thing that I can really... I'm not seeing a massive peak just standing out from everyone else. Unless it is way further up in the distance than I think, but it's not. So we're gonna go Baker, or Stewart, sorry. But I'm not sure that's right. I'm sure someone will correct me. Alright, hop outside real quick, figure out exactly where I'm at. Still following the power lines. Looks like there's a little trail up under the power lines the whole way that you can take. And we're going to follow this power line. Still got a long ways to go. But there's a Port Ludlow that the power line goes to right at the coast, and that is where we're going to cross. Pull it up on screen right here. So we're following this power line right now, I believe. and we're going to follow it here and then go straight across to Monroe. Is the plan. I'm just amazed I can't really pick that mountain out on the map, because it looks like it is just freaking huge compared to everything around it. Maybe it's further south than I'm thinking. Maybe it is rainier. I don't think so, but it could be. Just don't feel like we're looking in the right direction for it to be that. Alright, gonna start heading directly east. Start getting kicked around a little bit again as we're going over this elevation. Double check our altitude. Yeah, we're getting kicked around a little bit here. Fuel-wise, we're good. Probably used up a little more than I needed to with the mixture. Now this is going to be the difficult part, is figuring out where we're actually at with all of these little islands and waterways. But I think once we get over by Everett, we'll be able to kind of tell, because there's a major airport there. We just got to kind of look at that. We'll fly right over top of it, hopefully. Let's hop back outside just for a second. It's an interesting little lake, maybe? It's a weird one. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, the mountains are behind us. We're going to head this way. Try to figure out where exactly... Alright, I got an idea where we're at. We're a little farther north of where I thought we were going to go. This road... It's actually a road there. I don't think it's the power lines. And I think that is where I wanted to be, somewhere over here. Yeah, I think we're fine. We just go straight east from there. There should be a little town right here. Go across there. Yeah, that's got to be Rainier. a little bit of climbing there. Did not plan on doing that. That's fine though. Alright, so we're gonna cross over this water. And then the city is about as wide as water. And then just on the other side is going to be Monroe, home of Evergreen Speedway. Take a look around, do a little circle around it, and then go land. And that'll be our first leg of the trip done. I'm not sure how many miles we did. But, yeah. Only getting to essentially Seattle can tell you how long this little video series is going to be. I might have to rethink going to Wenatchee. I'll have to see what the performance of this plane actually is. I think it's 14,000 we can go up to. But again, with the current air temps in this part of the world, it might be a little much to ask of the plane. You can tell why I fly with autopilot on. But we don't have that luxury, so maybe if a video gets 80 likes, then I'll upgrade the plane. We'll go to something bigger. But I don't think we're gonna get there. I doubt some of these videos will even get 80 views. But I don't know if I really want to go to a faster plane. I mean, it's nice, relaxing, and I think flying a 150 across the country is kind of an achievement. Alright, I've really got to figure out where I'm at. I don't like not knowing. Alright, this has got to be Port Ludlow, sorry. And that means directly east. Should have a airport, which might be that gray there, and then just past that, Monroe. So I think if we just go direct east here, we'll be okay. As long as what they're saying is a magnetic disturbance in the area isn't actually modeled in here, then we might not be heading in the right direction. Have climbed up to 5,000, so I think I accidentally went up on the throttle. Back that down a little bit, should correct itself. Big little kick there. Not sure if that was my joystick or the wind. Looks like we're getting into a bit of a sandier area. Looked like along the straight it was more of a rocky land. This is looking to be a bit more sandy. I assume that's supposed to be a bridge. This looks like it might be a rich people area. A golf course and a big harbor, and they're all by themselves out around here, so I assume that is the correct assumption. Gotta turn back to the south again. And yeah, I think that is Rainier. That was a freaking huge mountain. Alright, well, this is essentially Seattle, all the way down there. I don't think we're going to see much of it, as we're still really far north. This thing keeps wanting to go to the right. Dropping back down to 45. Yep, it is a bridge down there. Alright, so that should be the airport. We need to stay fairly high as we cross over this point. And then I think that bit might be Monroe. And we're going to start running into photogrammetry now. So you can kind of see that gray look that photogrammetry has in this game. This might start getting a little choppy on frames. Just seen a bunch of work emails come through. Look at that real quick. Now, hopefully Monroe is actually photogrammetry, because it would be neat to see what the track actually looks like instead of just AI trying to figure out what is around there. But this whole area is just city all along the coast. This coastline is pretty high here. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I'm guessing it's a lot cooler looking in real life and not just a flat drop off. Alright, buildings are starting to load in. We're going to see what... I guess Everett might be a little further north of us. I don't know what... I mean, I would assume this is all Everett. Alright, that was definitely wind kicking us. Hop outside one more time real quick. We've actually dropped altitude now, picked some speed back up. Though we're still at 95 and been holding there quite a while. I don't want to get too low as we cross over this airspace. Don't know what the rules are for the airspace. We're gonna assume 45. Or hope for 4,000. Got to be able to land somehow at Monroe. But that airport might be fairly small. Luckily, we can pretty much land at anything in this, so probably find a field and put it down just fine. Alright, able to see the airport a little bit there. Some of the photogrammetry is starting to load in a bit. We are heading slightly more north than I want to. Out again, take a look, and into the big city. Very awesome view. This is going to be Harvey Field, it looks like. Maybe? Or, no, is that a small one? Yeah, that's a small one next to it. This is... I don't know. I don't think it's Boeing's field. It might be. So now we're looking for an interstate or major road, kind of heading from the north side of the airport and down. Oh man, photogrammetry areas are so amazing looking. And look at this. Especially at this height, when you can't see the really weird things that happen. It just looks so good. Still looking for that major road. Maybe it starts a lot farther out than I'm thinking. heading north, more north than I want to again. I think Monroe's a little further out than I thought. Fuel-wise, we're still above half. I'll keep track of how much fuel we use on this as well. Or ask you guys to put a comment in there. We started with a full tank, and I will try to look at the fuel in the menu at the end of the flight. Just see how much this would actually cost to do, not including the rental of the plane. Alright, we should see an airport directly in front of us somewhere, a small little airport. I'm just having a hard time picking out anything. I think it's just a lot farther off than I'm realizing. Part of the fun of flying VFR in an area that you have no idea about. Because what I thought was a road, or should be, is not actually turning out to be one. You know what? I don't think it's as far as... Yeah, because that mountain in front of us is after Monroe. I think Monroe is still right here. Let's go ahead and drop down now that we're past the major population area. We're almost past it. There's the lake, power lines, there should be a road coming up, and then there should be an airport somewhere, and I'm not seeing it, unless it's that. It might be that. Okay. And this is going to be Monroe. Mixture up a bit, that way I don't forget about it. Put taxi and landing lights on. Drop down here. It doesn't look like this is photogrammetry from here. Dropping 1500 a minute. Power back on it. Now the airport should be on the north side of town. So I might head that way just to kind of get an idea of what the airport is like, and we are looking for first airfield. Got the option runway 25 or runway 7. I think we're gonna go 25. I feel like the wind is coming from that direction.
Whiskey 16 traffic, Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 4 miles west 2,400 feet inbound.
Excessive to have to spell all that out. Alright, closing that down now. I really don't ever do that, but trying to figure out a bit about this airport. Should have pulled up some air nav stuff, but did not. And I am not seeing anything. And this is difficult trying to spot some stuff. I'm not doing a good job of figuring out, but there's the racetrack, so we got one thing down. It's gonna be AI, but there's Evergreen, and it's 20 different racetracks that it has. I think it's like 3, but do wish we would get that track. Nice old rough track that used to be on the Truck Series schedule. Is that the airport right next to the track, or is that a drag strip? Is there another small track right next to it as well? That might be an airport, even though the hangars are... Yeah, that's the airport. Okay, well, we found both of the things at once. There's like a tiny go-kart track, or maybe RC. Might be a go-kart. Well, that was nice. The airport and the track all at once. Let's hop outside real quick. Oh, they got a motocross track in there now too. Okay. We'll take a better look at it once we get on the ground. Let's go ahead and get ourselves lined up on the runway. Now that I know where we're going. This is a really cool looking area. Just gonna do that.
Whiskey 16 traffic, Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 is on final runway 25 to land.
No AI traffic on. It tends to bog frames down. There we go. Got the airport in sight. If you can call it in sight, because it's fairly difficult to see. It is a small runway. I'm not even sure it's wide enough to be a drag strip. Those hangars are definitely oversized. I hope this is a runway. I mean, it looks like it's got the markings. Alright, flaps out fully. Oh my god. Glad we got a small plane. Yeah, those hangars are a bit excessive on the height. Wow. This runway is just wide enough. Perfect. And I picked the right direction. Okay. Well, I think we're going to have to use a bit of grass to get turned around here. Damn, this is a tiny ass runway. We'll go down here and see if there's any place to turn around. Taking off is gonna be an interesting little task as well. Looks like we got a bit of grass growing through what should be a little turnaround here. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have found that airport had it not been right next to the racetrack. I mean, didn't even look like I was looking right at it and wasn't seeing it, and thought maybe it was a drag strip. So, wow. Alright, well, hour and 20 minutes in the video right now. Not too terrible. And it was an hour flight on the hours, 4.4 now. We will come down here and we're going to park off here to the left. Thought I saw maybe something. These little airports are really just a bit of a AI jumbled mess. We're gonna call this a taxiway. Maybe it's a road. And we're just gonna park here. So, let's go ahead and shut down. And put the parking brake on. Turn all this off. And turn fuel off. Turn the batteries off. We are shut down. Flaps are up. Let's hop outside real quick. And, oh my God. That might be one of the smallest runways we'll find. Let's go ahead over here. Looks like it's a little fairground. Speed up the speed of the drone. And here's Evergreen, but unfortunately it's all flat, so you can't really tell what's going on with the buildings, but little tiny motocross track, and then another one here. Got the small or medium-sized oval, then you got the small oval, then you got the half mile, and lots of parking, but definitely looks much better from up here. Well, let's see what this is. Is this just a go-kart track? Yeah, it's a go-kart track. It might just be I don't know. I don't know if it's an actual track or if it's a little pay and come have fun type track. But here we are. We've made it. Our first stop, Monroe. And is this a road course? No. Looked like there was a road course too. Hard to tell with this place. But hope you enjoyed that. I think the next stop, and I'll have to think about it, figure out more, but we're now here at Monroe. So we have flown from, zoom out just a little more. We started here and we went pretty much straight east, except for we had to go a long way around the mountains. Now the next bit here, and you'll see these bigger numbers, that means the minimum height you want to be. What I want to do is come up through here, get to Onichi, maybe a little further in. Looks like we would have to go, if we follow the road, which should be one of the flattest ways, should just need to get over 9,000 and then come in here They've got a little oval track here, very tiny one. But we might even try to go a little further depending on how long that takes. And then from there, we got a lot of flat land, but then we want to avoid all of this area. So the question is, which way do we go from here? And we could head south and stay somewhat in this and get to Boise. I think we've already established this is Boise. Yep. And then from Boise, we can get to Salt Lake, um, and then maybe find our way down through here. It's gonna be tough. We're definitely not going to be able to get through to Denver, I don't think. But if we hop down through this little valley and then down through here, um, make it to, where do we have here? Albuquerque. We'll be cutting off a lot of the country, but I mean, we've just made it that far, so thinking that far ahead, um, yeah, not sure. We could maybe cross up into here. I think maybe if we can get to 14,000, we might be able to cross over this area. What is this place actually? Yellowstone. That might be good to fly over. It's not going to look that cool, but who knows? Maybe it will. But that's the plan right now. I think next step is get to here, and then we'll decide which way we're going. So, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.